Welcome everyone to tonight's special meeting. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Warren Roberts and I declare this meeting open at 6 o'clock. I would like to extend a warm welcome to members of the public who are viewing at home. The purpose of the meeting tonight is to elect a mayor and consider whether to establish the position of deputy mayor and then elect a deputy mayor if the position is established. Due to the current COVID-19 restrictions and the public health directions in place, this meeting is deemed open to the public via the online live stream available through Council's website. An audio and video recording of the meeting will be published on Council's website after the meeting. If I could ask everyone to please stand, the acknowledgement of country. On behalf of the Brimbank City Council, I would like to recognise the traditional custodians of the land, the Wurundjeri people, and pay our respects to the elders, past, present and emerging. Thank you. Now the officers please sit and ask the councillors remain standing for the council commitment. As the council, councillors will act in the best interests of the Brimbank community and consider the immediate and long-term impacts of their decisions. Councillors will make these decisions fairly and without bias. Councillors will uphold all their obligations under the laws of Victoria and Council's local laws and will act in accordance with their code of conduct. Thank you. If you could all please be seated. Apologies and leave of absence. We've got no apologies tonight. So the first item we're going to deal with is the term of the mayor. So before we move to that task that we're really all excited about, electing the mayor, the council must first decide if the term of the mayor is to be for 1 year or 2 years, in accordance with the Local Government Act. The Governance Manager, could you please arrange for the motion to be displayed on the screen? The motion on the screen, the declaration of the result. But on the declaration of the result of the mayoral election by the Chief Executive Officer, the successful candidate is elected Mayor of Brimbank City Council for a year term. If I could have a mover of the motion. Councillor Lancashire.
Thank you, Acting Chair. I would put the motion that on the declaration of the result of the mayoral election by the Chief Executive Officer, the successful candidate is elected Mayor of Brimbank for a period of a 1 year term. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lancashire. Is there a seconder of the motion?
Second, Mr. Stewart.
Councillor David. Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, I'll put the motion, which is for a 1 year term for the Brimbank City Council Mayor. Could I ask you all to raise your hands? That is carried. Thank you very much. Now for the main game, councillors. Before I call for nominations for the position of Mayor, I'll explain how the election will work. The election must be held in accordance with the Brimbank Governance Rules and the Local Government Act of 2020. When I call for nominations, councillors may nominate themselves or another councillor. Councillors nominating a candidate must raise their hand and will be called upon to state their nomination. The name of the nominated councillor will then be displayed in writing on the screen behind me. I will then ask the nominee whether they accept the nomination. The nomination needs to be seconded by another councillor, so I will then ask for a seconder of each nomination. If there is no seconder for the nomination, then the nomination lapses. If there is only one nomination, the candidate will be declared to be duly elected. If there is more than one nomination, the governance rules require councillors to vote for one of the candidates. I'll take the vote on nominees in alphabetical order by surname. Please note there is no opportunity to speak for or against the nominations. And so I will now ask councillors for nominations for the Mayor of City of Brimbank. Councillor Papalia.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Councillor Jasmine Nguyen.
Thank you, Councillor Papalia. Councillor Nealon, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that motion?
No, not the second.
Sorry. Councillor Rassi.
I second that motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Is there any other nomination for the position of Mayor of the City of Brimbank? Councillor Liu.
I nominate Councillor Sam David.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor David, do you accept the
Accept the
nomination?
nomination, Mr Chair.
Thank you, Councillor David. Is there a seconder for Councillor David's nomination? Councillor Kerr.
I second that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kerr. Is there any other nominations? Councillor Ball.
I would like to nominate Councillor Virginia Tapos.
Thank you, Councillor Ball. Councillor Sarkos, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sarkos. Is there a seconder for that nomination? Councillor Branton.
Yeah, I second the nomination.
Thank you, Councillor Branton. Is there any other nominations for Mayor of the City of Brimbank? No. So we have 3 nominations for the Mayor of the City of Brimbank, and they are now in alphabetical order miraculously. Just happens. As we have more than one nominee, I will now proceed to take a vote or a series of votes to elect the Mayor. Voting, as I said earlier, will be by show of hands. Council's governance rules require councillors to vote for one of the candidates. Councillors can only vote for themselves or another councillor. A councillor can only vote for one candidate in any round. To be elected Mayor, a nominee must get the absolute majority of the councillors of Brimbank City Council. That is, at least 6 votes. If no nominee has received an absolute majority in the first instance, the nominee with the least number of votes will be defeated. If 2 or more candidates have the same number of fewest votes and one of them needs to be declared defeated, this will be determined by lot. I will then ask the councillors to vote again until one candidate has an absolute majority of votes. So let's begin. So councillors, we have 3 nominations for the position of Mayor. Councillor David, Councillor Newen and Councillor Tarkos. I will call for votes in the alphabetical order that they are on the screen. So those voting for Councillor David, could I ask you to raise your hands? 2, 3. Thank you. Councillor David has 3 votes. Those voting for Councillor Newen, could I ask you to please raise your hand? 2, 3, 4, 5 votes. Well counted correctly. Well, tell me if I didn't. Those voting for Councillor Tarkos, could I ask you to raise your hands? That is 3 votes. And if you've got it right, 3 and 3 is 6 and 5 is 11, so everyone has voted once. So we will now have to go for a withdrawal of the ballot. There are going to be 2 cards in the pretty blue receptacle. One has defeated on it and one is blank. The councillor who pulls out the defeated label is duly declared defeated. We will then run for another round of voting. And Julian, I think, will show councillors the cards, and we'll have the opportunity to make sure there's nothing up his sleeve. Thank you, Julian. Can you shake the blue receptacle? You have to shake the gun too. And we will now ask Councillor David to withdraw one of the ballots.
I can't find it.
You've got a smaller bucket. Councillor David has drawn the defeated ballot.
I'll withdraw that. I was going to withdraw mine to see your audience.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor David. Councillor David is a defeated candidate. We will now go to an election for the next round when Julian returns to accept. So on the basis again of alphabetical surnames, could I ask those who are voting for Councillor Newen to please raise your hand? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the basis that Councillor Newen has received 6 votes, which is an absolute majority of councillors, I have pleasure in declaring Councillor Newen as the Mayor of the City of Brimbank. Councillor Newen, if I could ask you to adjourn to the cloaking room. We've elevated it. Thank you, councillors. You all clear your hands, and that made my job very easy, and I do appreciate that. This is where it's really hard when you've got dead air and feel as if you should do something. But,
Drink water.
thank you, Carlos. Congratulations on
No, I just needed to say.
This might be a trick hazard.
fortune.
No, I think she's very flat. No. Hazard.
So it's some doors.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
So I'd now like to introduce the Mayor of the City of Brimbank, Councillor Nguyen, and ask the Mayor to assume the chair and address the meeting. Councillor Nguyen, Madam Mayor.
First of all, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land we meet upon, the Wurundjeri people, and pay our respect to elders past, present, and emerging. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for bestowing me with the privilege, the honour, and the responsibility of taking the office for Mayor for the Brimbank City Council. First of all, I'm so thankful for the love of my family, especially my mum and dad, who has loved, protected, and sacrificed for me and my brother through all these years. My mother is a hard-working woman. My dad is a community man. I thank them for the courage to leave their war-torn country in Vietnam, escaping by a boat, and starting a new life with me and my brother in Australia. I would also like to thank my friends, work colleagues, volunteers, donors, the wider community, anyone who shared my message to support me on my campaign. It's not easy, as you all know, to put your hand up for council or any leadership position actually, especially as a first-time candidate. But thank you so much for supporting me on my campaign, and I share my success with you. Thank you to the people of Brimbank who voted and put their trust in me to be their councillor. Your vote won't be taken for granted, and I stand here representing the entirety of Brimbank. And as I pledge, I will put the community first. In particular, I would like to thank the Vietnamese community, the refugees and migrants who settled in Australia. They walked, so second-generation Vietnamese Australians like me could run. Shout out to Viv, Vong and Bon. I am young. I am a woman. And I am of Vietnamese Australian heritage. And I represent substantial social, cultural, geographical demographics of our municipality. As Brimbank's first Vietnamese and youngest mayor, I hope to set a precedent. This is a win for multicultural, diverse Australia. I ran for council because I wanted to be a voice for our youth, our future generations, and our multicultural community. I hope by me standing here that other young people are inspired to step up, particularly young people from multicultural communities. Representation matters. Whether it's one representative or more, seeing people who looks like you gives you the courage that you can do it. You're only limited by your beliefs, and you need to believe in yourself. So I encourage you to dream big, and most importantly, back yourself. And you're not alone. Others will be there to support you if you put up your hand. Take the opportunity and put your heart into it. No matter your age, your gender, your socio-economic status, your culture, your experience is just as valid. I believe there is a capability for everyone to be a leader, so long as they are true to themselves. Inside everyone is a leader. And I believe in leadership that empowers others. But a mayor is only as strong as the council team. 11 of us, and the staff, the wider organisation. Each of our votes counts, We live in a liberal democracy, not a dictatorship. Especially in an age where society is politically polarized and divided, we need to work together as a team. Councillor Tui-Dan, I value you for your harmony, your kindness. Victoria, Councillor Borg, your academic astutness, standing up for vulnerable people to survive and also thrive. Councillor Branton, for your empathy, your advocacy for mental health and the grasslands. Councillor Takos, who's so passionate about social justice, standing for women and anti-gambling. Councillor Palia, being with me on Brimbank Youth Council. Like, I'm so proud to be together to advocate for the youth and also on sustainability. Councillor Kerr, I admire your fearlessness and advocating for disability. And Councillor Lancashire, it's been a blast, working with the portfolios for innovation across the Brimbank. You have a planning expertise and you do value, having ideas and plans for the future. My fellow Harvester Ward councillors, Councillor Liu, you are very practical and I appreciate your focus on actions and outcomes. Councillor David, for your 7 terms of being on council, your wide depth of experience and knowledge, telling us the history of Brimbank and what's past, and connecting us together. And also, I must acknowledge those who have been here before me in the position of mayor. Councillor Ranka Rasik, thank you for your resilient leadership as mayor in the first year. In the middle of a pandemic, you are a straight shooter and you do hustle. All of us Brimbank councillors are different. We all have different political affiliations, opinions, cultures, and we may not always see things eye to eye, but I can truly say we represent our diverse, culturally rich Brimbank community. Our diversity is what makes us strong. Our differences is our strengths. And as mayor, I will take on the responsibility of bringing us all together as a team and get the best outcomes for our community. I promise you that. Because our community deserves it. I was born in Brimbank, Sunshine Hospital. Brimbank raised me. I come from a culture of resilient, hard-working people. We're refugees, migrants, working class, professionals. We're the third largest municipality. We are the second most disadvantaged, but we're down to earth. The beauty of living in Brimbank is that you can just be yourself. You can feel safe to be who you are. So it's time to continue our phase of recovery and responding to the pandemic. We have achieved so much already, I'm really focused on bringing better outcomes for the youth, as I said, mental health, addressing our unemployment issues, our climate change emergency, and investing in our infrastructure. There is such a big gap between the East and the West. We need to revitalise Brimbank and secure as much funds and investment to Brimbank as possible. Using my strengths, I hope to be the bridge between multicultural communities, a bridge between different generations. I hope to bring fresh change. It is the election year next year. It's a double election, state and federal. So let's work together to secure as much investment as we can. Let's bridge the gap between the East and the West. Let's grab equality opportunities. As mayor, I hope to empower others, you, the councillors, the staff, the organisation, and most importantly of all, the Brimbank community. Let's bounce Brimbank back. Move on to item 7, determination of position of deputy mayor. We will now determine whether to establish the role of Deputy Mayor. Councillors, is there a mover of a motion regarding the position of Deputy Mayor? Governance Manager, could you please arrange for the motion to be displayed on the screen? Thank you. Is there a mover? Councillor Lancashire?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I move the motion put forward on the screen.
Thank you.
For a period of 1 year.
So just confirming that it's 1 year for Deputy Mayor? 1 year, very cool, thank you. Is there a seconder of the motion? Councillor Martin?
I second that.
Thank you. Would anyone like to speak to this motion? If not, I put the motion to the vote. All in favour, please raise your hand. That motion carries. Councillors, I call on for the nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor of Brimbank City Council. Councillor Tartos?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Victoria Ball.
Thank you. Councillor Ball, do you accept the nomination?
I do, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Brunton?
I second that.
Thank you, Councillor Brunton. Councillor Rosnick, are you nominating?
I nominate Councillor Tweedang.
The nomination is for Councillor Dang. Does the nominee accept the nomination?
Yes, I do, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Dang. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Lancashire?
Madam Mayor, yes, I would like to second that motion.
Councillors, is there another nomination? Councillor Wood?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I nominate Maria Kerr, Councillor Maria Kerr.
Thank you, Councillor Liu. Councillor Kerr, do you accept your nomination?
I do, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kerr. Do I have a seconder for Councillor Kerr? Councillor Kerr, do you accept your nomination?
I do.
Okay, fantastic. Are there any other nominations for Deputy Mayor? Okay, I think we should proceed. Are the names in order?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so just to remind councillors again, the nominations, you vote on them in alphabetical order by your surname. So given what's shown on the screen, the first councillor to put the vote is Councillor Ball. All those voting for Councillor Ball, please raise your hand. That's 3. We have 3 votes for Councillor Ball. Okay, those voting for Councillor Dang, please raise your hand. That's 6 votes. In accordance with the Brimbank governance rules, having received the votes of an absolute majority, I declare Councillor Dang to be duly elected Deputy Mayor of Brimbank City Council. And actually, I would like to ask, does a Deputy Mayor of Brimbank City Council like to speak? Would you like to speak?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is a great honor to be elected as Deputy Mayor for this year. And thank you, Madam Mayor and all the councillors. 12 years living in Brimbank. It's not too long, but long enough for me to fall in love and dedicate my heart to the Brimbank City Council. for the Brimbank communities. I'm sorry.
So nervous.
So, and I can see in 12 years, Brimbank had changed a lot. It's because of the previous councillor, the director team, the former CEO Helen Morrissey, the current interim CEO Warren Robert, all the council staff, and also the former mayor Venkat Raisip, and all of our councillors have made the change. And I'm very proud of one of the team to continue make the change for Brimbank. I would like to thank you, my friends and my family, who's always support me. I'm looking forward to work with you, Madam Mayor, and all the councillors for a better and stronger Brimbank. Thank you.
Do we have me to make a speech?
Thank you all for attending and for your interest in tonight's meeting. I declare this meeting closed at 6:32. I instruct the host to stop recording of this meeting.